Cheers. Welcome into this edition of Road Trippin. Allie, Clifton, Channing, Fry, Richard Jefferson. We're all drinking this morning.
Celsius.
Shout out Celsius.
Shout out
It's
Celsius.
10:30 and you're having stimulants?
Dude. Wine don't stop, dog. Wine don't stop.
I was gonna go a direction. Let me have a moment. I was gonna go direction. I'm going to instead of going right, I'm gonna go left.
Okay.
Because Richard, are you drinking a pop?
What?
No, I'm drinking a soda.
Okay, so I was telling Channing before you logged on, Richard. Shout out to New Heights. Obviously, the Kelsey brothers. We love them because they're from Cleveland. We all have that tie to Cleveland. In case you're just new to Road Trippin.
Who's from Cleveland?
They're from New Heights.
Travis Kelsey.
And Jason Kelsey.
Both of those guys are Ohio boys.
What? Yeah.
I don't follow
What
them.
rock have you been living under?
Yeah,
I don't follow them like that. I follow the Chiefs. I don't follow the fucking Taylor Swift shit. I don't know where
You don't need to follow or know Taylor Swift to know that the Kelsey brothers are from Cleveland Heights.
Yeah.
And that's in Cleveland, to be specific.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
Well,
Having said that,
Kansas City is in Missouri, right? You know,
Okay.
fair. That's fair. You guys are both annoyed how fair that is.
having said that, this morning, the new episode of them dropped. And if you were one of the 50 million viewers that watched the Buffalo Kansas City game, you saw the wonderful antics of Jason Kelsey celebrating, jumping outside, legend, outside of the suite, taking off his shirt, etc. So I wanted to know what they had to say about it. So I listened to the podcast this morning on my drive in, and there was a part that they dove into pretty heavily, and it made me want to ask you guys this. One, I think it's because of last week when Jason Kelsey drove through the McDonald's drive-thru and signed the jersey of the McDonald's worker, stating that he gets 2 Egg McMuffin sandwiches every morning with a black coffee when he goes to McDonald's. Okay, so then it led to, are you a combo meal person, orderer? One, do you guys even go to fast food? Or are you an a la carte orderer? And 2, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because, Richard, you are drinking a Coke, a pop. Jason said pop on the podcast, and I am a pop person. I am not a soda person. That's how I refer to it. Exactly. But when he said it, I even thought, because I've been out here since 2018, I do not lose my roots. But I was like, that kind of sounds weird. We are weird that we say
you
pop.
are fucking weird. It's soda pop. Like,
Okay, are you a combo orderer, though, at fast food? Do you even eat fast food? Or are you an a la carte?
Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah. I eat fast food. Yeah.
I'm
Combo
going
with the a la carte on the side.
combo with the a la carte.
Yeah.
If you're
Like Wendy's,
what does
you
that
get a
even
spicy
mean?
chicken
Well, I'm
sandwich, but then you get a little cheeseburger on the side.
Yeah, I'll get the 2 taco combo, and then I'll add the
Jumbo
Oreo
Jack?
cookie shake, right?
Okay, so but if you're going through McDonald's, say,
if you're talking
are
about
you-
like if you're getting a burger or if you're getting this,
are you getting the meal?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah,
The meal, the hash brown,
Every
the French
time.
fry, the tater tot.
Okay, so Travis is a fan of that. Jason says that you don't get your money's worth calorie intake wise with like the French fries and the pop and all of that. So he is a la carte, orders just the sandwich.
Oh.
Right.
Linemen are different.
Yeah.
They gotta keep those calories up. They gotta keep their weight up. That's crazy. Like they can get fined if they drop below weight type shit.
Yeah. And listen, at McDonald's, breakfast especially, if you get a sausage egg McMuffin, you get a coffee and you get a water, but then the hash brown goes into the sandwich.
No.
Wait, so you actually do order the hash brown?
I don't.
Yeah,
I
put
don't.
it all in the sandwich.
I'll
It's the best.
go McGriddle. I'll go McGriddle.
Oh no, those are gross.
I'll go the
McGriddle.
burrito on the side.
You go to
no,
McDonald's
no.
and get a burrito?
Arizona people don't order burritos from McDonald's.
Gross. Go to Filiberto's or Ralberto's or
Yeah.
Alberto's or just Berto's in general.
Yeah, no, we don't do that.
Don't
But
do that. Don't do that.
Anyways, kudos to your Coke this morning.
Yes,
Your
it's
Coca-Cola.
actually called Coke. It's like
Yeah, it is not a pop.
Oh,
not
all right.
all right. Let's talk.
Hopefully you will have sugar to energize you for this episode, because we're going to start with the obvious.
Well, What's the obvious?
Okay, so the Bucks fired first-year head coach Adrian Griffin just 43 games into the season. 30-13 record for those just getting caught up to speed. That is the second best record in the NBA. I just ran this by Channing to confirm. Channing was actually not a part of the David Blatt situation. And I know, Rich, you went in depth on this yesterday on NBA Today, but just some reference there. David Blatt, it was 41 games into the season. Y'all were 30-11 at that time. He was fired just 2 days ago, actually, back in 2016 on January 22nd. Channing showed up in February. Thoughts? What does this mean? First and foremost, were you shocked? Your reaction to this news? Channing, I'll start with you. Before we even get into what's next in the hiring of Doc Rivers.
I've seen it happen, right? I understand. I think here's where I knew he was fucked from the beginning. Do you remember the first 8 games? He was like, guys, this is how we've been playing defense. This is what I would like us to do so that we can be better equipped for the playoffs. He wanted them to be up on screens. They went like 3-5 or something like that. It was a little shaky at the beginning, and all of them were complaining about how this isn't who they are, right? Mm-hmm. To me, there's a catch-22 with that. One, if you have a new coach, and this new coach is like, trust me, I've seen where you guys get exploited in the playoffs, right? And I want to work on this during the year. And your vets don't buy in then. When you have Giannis, Chris Middleton, and Damian Lillard and Brook Lopez, you're going to win a lot of games. But that's not what they're going to be judged on anyways. If they weren't bought in to be up on screens at the beginning of the year, what does that say about the team and their trust to that coach? I don't think he had a chance. He's asking them to be something that they are not comfortable being, right? Whether that's Brook, whether that's Giannis, or whoever it is. I don't think it's Dame, but it was weird that Dame's coach, I forgot his name. He left. Remember, he left.
Terry Stotts
left 2 weeks before the season. They were like, hey, this wasn't going on. That's more unusual than this Doc Rivers situation.
And he left on his own, correct? He said,
he left. They had some sort. This thing has been blowing up for a while. And look, the similar thing with David Blatt was brought in to coach and grow young Kyrie, a young Wiggins, a young Tristan. Like that's what they were brought in to do. LeBron James changed all that. The timetable, like the mistakes from like a first-time NBA coach, they didn't have the patience. Dame Lillard, like they signed him as the head coach before Dame Lillard came in, right? Before Dame came in, like he took over as coach. So now, instead of having the roster that he had been working with and that he was familiar with and was able to make tweaks, you're taking out like a huge piece and you're adding a very, very different huge piece. And if you don't have unique piece. So I'm just saying it like.
Can I ask really quick to that point for you before you go to your next, with the element of you hire Adrian Griffin without Dame Lillard being there, like David Blatt came in to coach a young Kyrie. You still hired Adrian Griffin with Giannis, who is a champion and a bona fide star in the, like
I'm more talking
a proven star in this league. Like
I'm more talk about the adjustments from like, okay, this is my team. Okay. This is I've been with these guys. I know these guys. These are the tweaks I want to make. Mm-hmm. Brand new guy comes in, and you're like, "Holy shit! I was not prepared for this."
Drew Holiday in the Bucks is a lot different than Damian Lillard in the Bucks. Drew Holiday fits in. He doesn't ask for the ball. He's elite defensively. He is a true pass first point guard where Giannis is the main attraction. You can build a system around that. When Damian Lillard comes in, you now have to adjust your whole offense and defense. You don't have to coach Drew Holiday on defense. You have to coach Damian Lillard on defense because he's not as big, he's not as good, but he's way better offensively. That's how you look at their numbers offensively. They're monsters. Defensively, they're in the lower half of the NBA. And that's where Richard's trying to make his point. Is like, yeah, I have all these teams ready for Drew Holiday and these guys. Now you're giving me Damian Lillard. So now he's getting hit with screens.
And then Terry Stotts is gone. And then Terry Stotts has this. But I think Griff is going to be a good coach. I just think sometimes we've seen it with other people. When you get these loaded rosters, like sometimes you need an experienced coach that has seen a lot of shit. And like that's what Doc Rivers is. I just say this. I'm not here for the BS. I'm saying like Doc Rivers, he's coached Paul Pierce and Rondo and KG. He's coached Blake Griffin and Chris Paul and Jamal Crawford. He's coached James Harden, Tyrese Maxey, and Joel Embiid. So I'm saying like when you look at a guy, he's like, oh, if these are the pieces that I have to juggle, I'll figure it out, right?
There's experience there.
There's experience there for a brand new guy that's doing it for the first time. He has a great team, but then the team that he's preparing for, it's like he doesn't have as much experiencing with the jug. And again, I don't want to sidetrack, but like I think experience helps with those things. That's one of the things that people have questioned Darvin Ham on, is him figuring out the lineups. That shit takes time, right? Mm-hmm. Like I'm sorry, people. Like there's only 30 of these jobs in the world, only 30. Right. So very few people actually have experience in the field. Right. Not from necessarily of like coaching, but it's like, oh, I'm constantly dealing with injuries. T. Lue said it during COVID that the COVID year made him a better coach because he was constantly having to change the lineups because guys were in and out. So he was constantly having to work on the schemes and do all this stuff and tweak it like every single night. Who's available, who's not available, like whatever. So like if T. Lue is telling us that makes him better coach having to deal with all of those things, then that means that it's really fucking hard to deal with those things. So it's like, and a guy like Adrian Griffin, I don't think he had the time to grow and experiment and tweak, and especially with this roster with the kind of schedule they're on.
Obviously, as we know, they went from 4th defensively last year, rating-wise, to 22nd here this season, despite their record. You guys were touching on this. It's just the wins aren't coming as you would hope or expect them to with a roster of this. Having said that, I just think it's interesting. Or what'd you say?
I said they gutted their bench. They gutted, like they're getting old, and they are one-dimensional defensively. They run a regular drop and ice every single time because that's what Budenholzer used to do with them. And then now it's like, this is different. Oh, Budenholzer, sorry. It was a joke.
Do you remember when at the beginning of all of this, when this trade went down and I was talking about how valuable a piece Drew Holiday was, and you both looked at me like I was crazy and turned me upside down, inside out?
Yeah, I stand by that.
Please.
100%
That I am
stand by that.
Having said all of that, I just wonder if there is a little bit even more, or to your point, there's more layers to it than just him being inexperienced, because Adrian Griffin didn't walk into a non-championship caliber roster to begin with. He had a list of a championship filled roster. And now all of a sudden you add this piece and it really just did not connect in a line. And I think with the coming, I think for people, they're going to the outside looking in, and people are kind of like,
winning games is not necessarily the indicator if you're a champion.
Covers up a lot.
I'm saying it's not an indicator if you're a championship team. Like when you're watching mistakes, when you're watching this, if you're watching with that eye, you're like, we're 30-13, right? We're in second place, like blah blah blah. But you're like, we're not playing good basketball. It was the same thing with us when they let go of David Blatt. It's like we were good, like we were fine, but it was like they're not playing at an elite level. Like they're more talented than everybody else, got the best player in the world, but we weren't playing elite. And I will say this: T. Lue was the guy, and there's questions, but he was the guy that got us to playing elite.
The Kings in OKC and Minnesota, they're winning a lot of games. When we talk about the best 3 teams in the league, no one's saying OKC or Minnesota. They always go Boston, Milwaukee, Denver, Philly, right? And that's what I think Richard's trying to say. And also, to me, you got to look at, like, this team is getting old. They're getting older, right? Regardless if we want to, like, Giannis is Giannis, Dame's getting older, Middleton is not. He's giving you this. He's not giving you this. Like, who's that? They got rid of their youth, right? So for me,
they
obviously,
still need some more shit. It ain't just getting Doc Rivers.
They have no energy.
They're gonna need to get somebody defensively. Old Perk Alert was talking about fucking getting PJ Tucker off the bench with the Clippers. They do.
Why
I think you look at their team, they're missing some youth, they're missing some fire, which you oftentimes you can see that. But like you look at at Philly, and you've got Terrence Mann. That dude is fucking young, shy of a cannon. This dude could play 70 minutes a night if he needed to. No, but I'm saying when you look at like Philly, there's Boston, they have youth. Like Milwaukee, they don't have, like Giannis is still in his young. Giannis is in his prime for another 5 years. But they don't have youth. Yeah, they don't have youth around them, that extra burst of energy. They don't have that. And like Denver has it. Who are some of the other teams at the top? OKC's got it. Minnesota has it. They don't have it.
Even Miami went and got it. Went and got it.
Yeah, Jaime Jaquez, like Tyler Hero's fucking
Terry Rozier's young-ish.
Like these, they got bursts.
I don't want to harp too much on this, so we can finish with this. But I'm curious as to what you think, or who you think has the most pressure on them after this move. How much pressure does Giannis carry in this?
Before we
Doc ain't got
stop.
no pressure.
No, can I? This is my thing, right? One thing, there's two things we're not taking into account. This is a new ownership group. So they're like, we just bought this team. We don't feel like this is a championship caliber team. We need to make a move. We can't move Dame. We can't move Giannis. We don't want to move Brook. Who's the only guy that we can move? And you know what? I don't understand if Doc here, and now it could be anybody. I'm just using these guys because this is a report. If Doc Rivers was advising Adrian Griffin and you didn't like what he was doing, why would you hire the guy that was advising the guy?
Nah, this is what happened. Terry Stotts, when he left, he was supposed to be the OG head coach that he could lean on for support, and he leaves in the middle of the season. That is a fucking huge piece of probably Adrian Griffin struggling. You're losing the guy that was a head coach for a decade in this league, that was supposed to be your second in command, that was supposed to kind of guide you and help you, right? So you lose that. And so it's like, then he still needs somebody to advise him. He can't go get anybody on his staff. There's no coach out there that he can go get. So then you take the advice from, like, whether it's a Doc Rivers or somebody, George Karl, or somebody that has like head coaching experience, somebody that you can do that. So Doc was probably advising him. But yeah, you know how this goes. This shit is Game of Thrones, bro. This shit is Game of Thrones.
I'm confused because nobody in Philly was like, man, we should have kept Doc, right? They were very underachieving team. And then now you know what the definition of crazy is? Like, everyone after he left Philly was like, he's not going to get a job. And no one's that stupid. No one is that stupid.
You'd be
surprised
how many people will take you chalk up. Look, at the end of the day,
that's the
Doc
thing.
Rivers. Doc Rivers has gotten, like, look, the Clippers, they had a great run. They had some bad news, but you can't say Doc had some bad playoff losses. He's got a lot of bad playoff losses. But overall, you wouldn't say that Doc is a bad coach. You would say that Doc's a very good coach. He just has some, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's like Charles Barkley's a very good player. He doesn't have an NBA championship. Doesn't mean he wasn't fucking great at what he did. You know what I'm saying? So I think Doc is great at what he does. I think he's a very, very good coach. I think he's an improvement from an experience side, right? But it's not like you just went out, like, you didn't just go out and bring in Phil Jackson. It's not like the dude's got 5 rings. You didn't just go bring in Steve Kerr. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's like you brought in an elite coach. Like, that's all you got.
I think you bring him in.
What else you gonna do? What else you gonna do?
I think you bring him in because you're like, you know what, Giannis and everyone else, how y'all want to play, that's how we're going to play. And you know what? Doc is great at just personality control. And I think that's the biggest thing that Milwaukee needs is personality control. And guys, you know what? Y'all want to drop an ice? Drop an ice all you want. You want to run this play? Let's run this play. Just run this one for me once every quarter. After that, y'all go do what you do. and I'll just take care of personalities. But I don't know. I think Milwaukee rumblings, I'm not saying this personally. Rumblings are Milwaukee had a great year. Now, I'm just on the internet all the time. People are starting to feel like, and you've heard this too, Richard, that was a fluke year for Milwaukee. They feel like other teams have surpassed them. They feel like other teams have made critical decisions when necessary to always be above Milwaukee, right? Boston, Philly, right? You look at Denver, you look at Lakers, or not Lakers, Clippers, definitely not the Lakers. The Clippers, right? Those teams have made huge improvements to their team to be better than Milwaukee.
I disagree.
You disagree.
This is why I disagree.
Okay, tell me why.
They went all in to get Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday was the final piece of their puzzle. He was late game defender, late game scorer. Like he was, because you knew like you needed more than what you had with Chris. Yeah, so they bring him in. So they had to push in a bunch of chips. Picks, gave away a ton of like their draft picks or draft capital. That wins them a championship in the first year, right? That wins them a championship in the first year. Boom. I don't give a fuck. Everything was worth it. So they went in to stay above everyone. Now, over the past few years, Chris Middleton has gotten hurt. Some of the other guys have gotten a little bit older. Hurt. Yeah, and so now you're looking at, they're like, okay, we're still a top 2 team, top 3 team, right, in the conference, right? If not the best team, it's a small wiggle room right there, and we don't feel like we have a gap, so we're going to do another jump, and that means here comes Dame Lillard. So I'm more saying in the sense of like, yes, the teams have progressed past them, but they've been making moves. Like they got Damian fucking Lillard in Milwaukee. These bad boys have been making moves, but when you lose a lot of that draft capital, to me, you lose the players in the middle. You lose that young player in the middle that's pretty good, the Christian Braun, the Bruce Brown, like those guys that are kind of like middle of the road kind of gap fillers. Like Jay Crowder, you look at Malik Beasley, hasn't been what they would like him to be. Connaughton is kind of flatlined, in my opinion, for like who he is. I think he's plateaued. I think there was time where we were like, oh, he's going to keep improving, and I think he's a very good player, but you wouldn't put him in that same kind of like high energy level. You just consider him a role player at this point in time, and I say that with respect. So they just
he has to be a role player. If you're playing with Dame and Giannis, there's not as much. If you're playing with Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton and Giannis, that's a lot different. Everyone else is going to eat more. When you play with Dame and Giannis, not everyone is going to eat as much, right? I just don't think there's enough. Dame is a volume shooter, and that's how he's explosive. He's not like Drew Holiday, who will take 6 shots in a game and just be like, okay, fine. It's just not the same. And that's why I think, to me, after watching this, I think, yes, Adrian Griffin was the right move at the beginning, but not now with Damian Lillard. And as we see, he just can't get them to cohesively work. You know, they're like, you know, they're just two sharks moving forward. They're not, you know, they're not cohesive.
Steph Curry makes you believe you can do anything, and the Curry 11s are specifically designed with ultimate bounce, grip, and stability to allow everyone to do their thing. New generations of ball players are coming up and showing the basketball world that the old rules do not apply. The future is exciting, fast, positive, and hungry. This NBA season, rock with your favorite player and rep his shoes on and off the court. The Curry 11s are perfect for both the committed and casual ballers. The UA Warp Tech makes the shoe feel like it was designed for your feet, locked in no matter what you do on the court. Stop in your tracks with dual density UA flow cushioning and traction. It's an emergency brake you don't even notice. Steph's 11th signature shoe steps into the second decade of his sneaker career, pulling colorway inspiration from the wonders of a positive and modernized future on and off the court. Take these kicks with you when you leave the scrimmage and rep Under Armour wherever you go. So do your thing. Change the game. The Curry 11 Future Curry is available now at currybrand.com. Let's talk about a shark that moved forward the other night. Moving on to Philadelphia. Joel Embiid, his 70 points, 18 rebounds.
Are you not entertained? This dude is disgusting.
I want your take on this, because then that same night, you see Cat go for 62 and a loss. Joel's obviously in a win. Because it is another conversation, a bigger conversation, taking nothing away from Joel Embiid, breaking the franchise record, 68 of Will Chamberlain. Is this your point you're trying to make, Channing, that the big men are coming back?
What? They've been back. Look at every team that has success has a solid big man.
Yeah, I was like, the big men have been running this.
Look at, for instance, and I'm going to throw a name out there, a guy that is the two most underrated centers in the league, Mitchell Robinson and Jared Allen, right? 3, 4, 5 years ago, those guys weren't as valued as much. Now, you look at the Cleveland Cavaliers record when Jared Allen plays, it is way better than when he sits. Everyone else can get hurt. They have a better winning percentage when he plays. Mitchell Robinson, think about this Knicks team when he gets back, if he's healthy, I think has a chance to go to Eastern Conference Finals. That's just me. With that team.
I think this is, yeah.
Thirdly, you look at Orlando is one of the biggest teams in the league. When they have Jonathan Isaac, their team, the tallest teams in the league, when they have Jonathan Isaac, their team is obviously top 5, top 6 in the East. You look at Dallas, who's up and down this year, when they got Derek Lively, who I think is a sleeper best pick, dude, they're a whole different team. It's not even close. You look at the Lakers when AD is, now he's been balling, their success comes when he's mostly playing the center, right? I think you look at the Kings' success, Sabonis. You look at, obviously the Suns have been struggling. Golden State's been struggling. Why is Utah sort of good? Walker Kessler. Then you have, a Lowry Marketing. Like you can go down the line.
The big man is back.
The big man's back.
Yeah, I think Channing. So to sum up that soliloquy, the big man is back, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, but we cannot get bored with what Joel Embiid is doing. I watched that whole game. He really didn't even want to go in the fourth quarter, but the Spurs were like keeping it to 14-11, and he went back in. But like he really don't even play the fourth quarter.
Channing, what did you think about the Spurs game plan?
You know what? You know what they said? You know what they said? They honestly go, this one guy, we're not going to double team, so let him beat us.
That's a game plan.
Nobody thought he would get 70.
But that's the game plan. They don't have anybody. He outweighs.
It's also true. Yeah.
Like you combine Wemby and Zach Collins, and it's the same. He still weighs more than both of them combined.
Dog. He was hang dribbling the fuck. He was doing the same pickup move. Ha ha. Yeah. Ha ha. Yeah. Ha ha. Yeah. And there was nothing they could do. They put Jeremy on him. He's posted him up. We cannot get – everyone wants to make excuses for greatness like, oh, he gets to the free throw line a lot or he falls down. I don't know if anybody saw Joel Embiid his first year. He's been flopping like that his whole career. I just think he has equilibrium problems.
That's
right?
not.
He falls down a lot.
That is not. I'll show you some equilibrium problems.
Dude, he falls down a lot. It's just what he does. He also gets to the free throw line like a monster because he's aggressive and he's physical. But to me, every challenge that he's ever faced versus any big man is what I think he's going to be the MVP running away. He played Denver. He busts that ass. He played Wemby, gave him 70. He plays Cat in Minnesota, gave him 45. Like, there's no big man in the league that he doesn't step up to the challenge. And he just had to remind the Spurs, y'all got a unicorn, but I'm Rambo. I'm killing everybody.
This is the Channing Frye show, and I'm here for it.
It's Celsius.
The Celsius, definitely.
That's the one drink, though, that, like, once you drink it, it hits you. Like, you feel it.
Yeah, it's great. It lasts forever. I got a lot of emails after
energy
this.
Drinks like that. All right, before we take a break, because we are going to do some midseason awards, I do want to get your thoughts on the trade between the Hornets and the Heat. Terry Rozier, 23 points per game. Did you just really do that, Channing? In exchange for Kyle Lowry and a first-round pick. What does this do for the Heat?
Put it in reverse, Terry.
No, they're a problem. I think they're going to be a problem. I still think that I wish they had a little bit more depth at the big. Yeah, a little bit more size, right? Like we were talking about, like the big man is back. The size is important. But I think, especially with the emergence of Jaquez, now you got Duncan, now you got Tyler Hero, you got Martin, Jimmy Butler, now you got Terry Rozier. And look, Kyle was a great game manager for that second unit. right? The dude's a Hall of Fame point guard, right? Like that's what the fucking stats tell us. So he's running their second unit. That shit really helps your second unit. That's what they were trying to get in with Chris Paul in Golden State. You understand the value of that. Now you got a 20-point a game guy that's there and he's nice. So now you have another real point of attack versus a setup man. And I think they needed more scoring. I love Jimmy. It's just hard to watch Jimmy play bully ball, right, at 6'5" for 4. I don't think they could win a championship with him playing. You needed more help in scoring around him.
Yeah.
Caleb Martin went crazy in Game 7 of the Boston series. And imagine if you have Caleb Martin balling, and then you have Terry Rozier balling. He creates so much action. That's the thing that I think sometimes Miami misses in the playoffs. They ain't got nobody with wiggle, really. Like Jimmy plays bully ball. Bam is solid. Caleb Martin was coming off those screens. I was like, damn, dog. Like, who is this dude? But now you really put Terry on there, and I think he's going to show out. And also, he's going to get opportunities to move all around the court where it's not just get the ball and go. It's like, come off this down screen. And then for me, it also allows Tyler Hero to go to the bench early and be with that second unit where he can now explode. Not that he's going off the bench, but where he could be with them earlier.
I won't say that he won't. What I'm going to say is scoring 23 points a game on Charlotte is the equivalent to scoring like 16, 17 on Miami.
Oh, for
right?
Easy.
Like he's like, I like Terry, but he's not Kevin Durant. He's not one of those guys that's going to show up and he's a 30-point a game scorer. No, he can score 20 points a game on Charlotte. They're going to win 8. They're winning 8 games. Their team is not very good, but you put him on the Miami Heat within a structure, within like that, I think he's somewhere like a 16, 17 point a game scorer. And those motherfuckers don't grow on trees. So no. I don't think you look at it as like they got. Now, if he does, you score 17, that means every other night you're putting up 20, right? That's you take it. But I don't think he's going to be like a 23 point a game, a 22 point a game scorer. Now he could. I'm not saying like it would be like mind blowing. I'm just saying I think that's within the framework. Numbers can get elevated, like Porzingis in Washington. His numbers can get elevated. He's within a structure in Boston, and he's still elite. But he's a piece of the puzzle, not just going out there trying to get 25 every night.
At the time of this trade, the Heat are 24-19. They are 6th in the Western Conference. All right, it is that time. Give me your top players from last week. These are our Under Armour game changers of the week. Which players or coaches impressed you guys the most? Richard?
Ooh, okay. Give me a moment. It always feels like a pop quiz when we know these are coming every
episode.
Every episode. And it feels like, oh shit. Let's see. I'm gonna need Channing to go first.
It's not even close. It's Kevin Durant.
Channing
was an absolute murderer last week. Like, was going to work. Anytime you say, "Hey, put me up there in the GOAT conversation," and then average, what did he average? 38
back-to-back 40 points.
Yeah, back-to-back 40 points.
Is he a part of the GOAT conversation? No. Actually, hang on, Rich. You go first, and then we'll talk about that on the other side.
Go ahead.
No, because I can't mess up this ad.
I'm gonna say DeJounte Murray. DeJounte Murray from the standpoint of this is that. Ooh, that's tough. The Cavs. I want to kind of pick some out of the Cavs, but I'll go with DeJounte Murray, but because he's playing amidst trade rumors. Trae Young was out for some time. Their team was playing well, right? Like hits a game winner. Like that's, it's tough to stay locked in on that stuff. So
he's ready to go.
He's ready to go. He tried. Well, don't play so well. You got to lower your value. They're asking too much. You playing too well. Atlanta's
yesterday's price wasn't today's price.
You gotta lower your play. You can't go out and have a career high because then they're gonna raise the price.
Who would you keep, Richard? Trey or DeJounte?
Hang on, we'll go there next. Road Trippin's Game Changers of the Week are sponsored by Under Armour. Do your thing, change the game. The Curry 11 Future Curries are available now at currybrand.com. All right, continue.
Wait. We have to start on this first. What did you think? Because you watched more of the Timberwolves game than I did. What did you think about Karl-Anthony Towns 62?
No, I thought the first 3 quarters. It was good. I did. The fourth quarter was the reason why the bad offense affected their defense. It affected their energy. And that's not just that. And look, you know this. They were booing anybody that shot the ball that wasn't Joel. They were booing him.
Poor guy.
And so it's like, but from a standpoint of for anybody not named Joel Embiid that shot it, like, it was a boo. My point is this. You want that for your teammate. You're going out of your way to try and find your teammate when he's having one of those nights. There's some nights that you just need to be like, fuck it. We're going to see how many points this bad boy can score as long as we, you know what I'm saying? So you're locked in on defense to try and get back there to get him the ball, right? I think that I would just say that because the way the offense was going, I think their team lost a ton of focus on the defensive end. And now you started putting pressure on the offense. And Cat, he didn't play a great game. He was just trying to go. And even Joel, you got to kick it. You got to keep the defense a little, you got to make them think that you might think about passing. They know you're not passing, but they got to think that you might pass.
He actually was. But the minute he passed it, he just got that. They just threw it right back to him. He was like, fuck it, let me score.
Yeah. But the fourth quarter was just, you watch it. When you watch, if you want to watch some bad basketball, go back and watch the fourth quarter and the energy. Now, he did get fouled. That's the part that will throw a caveat. The fucker got fouled right there on a blatant wrist clubbing, right? Like, that can't be.
But
that
refs
can't
are humans too, and momentum is a motherfucker.
Yeah, but that was in the five. That was in with 50 seconds ago. That was 30 seconds ago. That was the final. Like, we're gonna make a push. They get fouled. Now all of a sudden the game's over. Like, they're down by 3 or 4. So I don't know. I feel bad that missed call, but that missed call isn't why they lost that game. It's because of like he called it immaturity on the offensive end. You're right. On the defensive end. So. Yeah, but look, you put up a 60, 62, bro, you're in rare air.
Because I went to the Warriors, Durant told Rankin, why shouldn't I be in that? That's the question you should ask. Why not? What haven't I done in regards to the GOAT conversation?
Nah, homie. You the man. You ain't that man. Come on, bro. Hey, well, you bad. You in the club. You not in VIP seating. You in the club. You're not at the main table. There's only 3 people at the main table.
No, there's more than 3 people at the main table. Who you got at the main table? Who's at the main table?
Jordan, Braun, and Kareem.
Oh yeah, okay. I want to make sure.
Okay, right. That's just my main table. If you got an argument for those 3,
well, I'm saying, and then for honorable mention, if we're talking about a Mount Rushmore, because the Mount Rushmore is the top 4, you can have.
Okay, we're not going there.
You can go Kobe, you can go Bill Russell, you can go Magic Johnson.
Go back to episode 269. I just did the 69 for the both of you. That's when we talked about Mount Rushmore. Continue on the GOAT table.
My thing about this, Kevin Durant is one of the greatest people, like basketball players, to ever touch a basketball. He was probably going to finish as a top 10 player, top 7 if we were ranking players. In my opinion, by the time he's done, like, he's a top 10 player. I think he's a top 10, top 12 player. That's right.
Okay, I'll give you that.
I would, like I'm saying, depend on what day you do your voting today. After that motherfucker been cooking people, you might be like, yeah, I got him at like 9th. You do it, at a different time. Anyways, it's just, in my opinion, you would take Steph Curry over Kevin Durant.
Ooh.
Right? If you're talking about the GOAT conversation. Conversation isn't necessarily who is better. Those are different conversations. But if you were going to break it down, you would say that Steph Curry has accomplished more. So, like, if you're not above the guy that you were winning championships with, I can't really put you in that conversation, and that's no disrespect. The man is a monster.
Yeah,
like I said, he's probably going to end up as a top 10 player at all time. But this puts you in that GOAT conversation. It's not. You have to do things that have never been done.
Yeah,
Kevin Durant has not yet quite accomplished, in my opinion, something that's never been done. Right, the down 3-1, Kobe with 5 championships, 6, Jordan with all the accolades. Like, you got to understand, it's like Kevin Durant's got 1 regular season MVP. Steph's got 2, right? He's got 2 finals MVPs. He's got 2 championships. Steph has 4, right? So championships. I'm saying Steph's got 4 championships, right? Like, those are the things that like are like.
Where's Steph on your list? I'm just curious.
Where's Steph on my list?
You could say 5 to 10, 8 to 10.
I have KD and Steph right next to each other, with Steph getting
10, 11, 12.
with Steph getting the edge.
So is Tim Duncan
Steph
above
was the
Steph?
first unanimous MVP of all time, right? First unanimous MVP, like 73 wins, right? They beat you. They were down 3.
Can you guys right now confidently give me your top 10 players of all time?
No.
Ooh. Ish. I probably forget somebody, but I can give you names.
Are you willing to take on the Twitter trolls?
No. I'm not going to say a list. I'll just give you the 10 names.
We'll go LeBron, MJ, Kobe, Tim Duncan, Kareem, Bill Russell.
Magic.
Magic, thank you, Magic.
No, you already said that. Channing did. It was like 1, 2, 3. It was like Kobe, LeBron, Jordan, Magic. You said Kareem, Wilt, excuse me, Bill Russell.
Oh, Bill Russell, Shaq. Jerry, no.
I put Oscar Robertson is probably starting, but Oscar would probably get close. But at that point in time,
is this a Lakers all time, or is this
But that's where you start. But that's where you start into the Oscars, the KDs, the Steph Currys. Like that's when you get into
two more.
We're only at 8.
We're only at 8.
No, we're gonna leave it there.
Ooh, Jerry West.
Now I don't know if Jerry West was that dude over his era.
You can confidently give me 8. Kobe.
I'm just saying I would want to sit down if I was doing it. I'm not going to speak off the cuff. I would want to
somebody
break it.
we're missing that's just disgusting.
Oscar.
What about Hakeem Olajuwon? Because the top 8, you got to be, to me, the top 8. You are one or two greatest at that position, and by that definition, KD is not 1 or 2 at the 3 position.
Well, he's also playing in an era with LeBron. like, bro, like, why? Like, but this is the thing about Kevin Durant. He should feel that way. I would be surprised if he didn't feel that way. We keep seeing that famous quote of it. You know who I am. I'm Kevin Durant. You know who I am.
I'll give you an interesting list that compiled from just sources across the web. Just some names that you guys didn't have.
Okay.
Larry Bird. Fuck.
Larry Bird was on there.
Yeah.
Wilt.
No, Larry Bird. Larry Bird is a top 10 player of all time.
So 9 and 10, according to this, would go along with everyone that you guys said. And then right after that would be Tim Duncan.
Yeah, they're out of their mind.
Steph, 80.
How does Tim Duncan not top 5? He's the greatest power forward of all time.
It's not. It's just a list. It's not numbers 1 to 10.
He's about to get fired up, Chad.
Yeah,
no.
That doesn't make
but
any
I'm just
sense.
saying
what
all the names.
What are we using here?
Is it winning? Is it
not listed? It's just.
I was like.
Yeah. So Tim Duncan, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Larry Bird, Wilt, along with the other 8 you guys said, is the ones that come up right away.
This list has Steph at 10 and KD at 11.
That's what I'm saying. Like those guys are like right
11 and 12 over here. Yeah.
Like, bro, if you got to win 2 more championships just to get to. You got to win 2 more championships and 2 more Finals MVPs, in my opinion, just to get to the top 7.
Yeah.
To make that jump from 11 to 7.
Yeah.
Right. Because I don't think again. We wouldn't put him past Kobe. We wouldn't put him past MJ. We wouldn't put him past Bron. I wouldn't put him past Magic. I wouldn't put him past Kareem.
Or Shaq.
Right? So even if he were to win 2 more championships and 2 more Finals MVPs. Well, I'm saying even if he were to win 2 more championships, because then that's 4 championships and that would be 4 Finals MVPs, right? Or let's say he wins 1. Like, yeah. So like that right there is right there with Bron. Like, you're still missing the MVPs. Larry won 3 MVPs in a row. Like, LeBron's won 4 MVPs. So I'm saying it's not just winning the championship. And we could probably say the chances are 50-50 whether he'll get another championship. I think I'd give him a 50-50 chance that Kevin Durant will win another championship.
Dude, I'm 20.
I'm not basing that off of just this now. I'm saying just before
he's getting older. And let's say he moves team. You got to gut your team to trade for him. So then you got to rebuild. So it's like
I get it.
You have to make it work in Phoenix.
I'm just saying that he would have to do a lot to move into the top 7. That fucking top 7 are they're not basketball icons. They're sport American icons.
Yeah.
Like Larry Bird is just an icon, right? Like Magic, those guys, MJ, to get into that conversation, it's fucking next to impossible. It's almost impossible.
That was a fun conversation.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
All right, we're gonna do some mid-season awards with the time that we have left. 2 minutes each. Okay, we're not gonna go into this long, drawn-out story of
zero chance.
My grandma's dog's possum's uncle. Okay, I got the time. MVP as of right now, mid-season.
Joel Embiid, not even close. Not even close.
Agreed.
More points than minutes.
Okay.
More points than minutes. Stop it.
Okay, that one was easy.
Yeah.
Unanimous. Defensive player of the year. Gobert's to lose?
I hate saying it, but yeah. Fuck.
Really?
You know who's a sleeper? I'm gonna go on it. I'm gonna mess around and say Anthony Davis. I know their record is not indicative.
It's not sleeping. It's only the record. There's no sleeping on it. There's no let's go out on a limb. It is only the record.
I watch a lot of the Lakers. His defense has been immaculate. You look at like his energy, switching. Like Gobert has a great cast around him, and they have a great scheme. But Anthony Davis is locking up, bing, bang, boom. Each player just clamping shit up. Like it's gross, and it's only overshadowed by the Lakers' record. So I'm gonna say Anthony Davis.
No, Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is having a defensive player of the year type season. They're not going to give it to a player that's in the 7-8 unless it's fucking
Richard,
right.
Where did you go in the last 12 seconds that we just said all of that?
Oh, well, no, you guys didn't see that? Yeah, I'm sorry. I had to go grab my bagel.
We literally, your bagel?
That's what you call it? We're sick.
I ordered a Noah's bagel.
What do you do with the cream cheese in the middle?
Dude, they always put too much cream cheese.
Finger or lick it? Okay. Coach of the year. OKC, Mark Dagnall. Chris Finch, Minnesota.
Oh, Dagnall.
Yeah. OKC
look, I get the Williams brothers mix up. Jaden Williams, that boy is nice.
Jalen,
like I said, Jalen is nice.
Nice.
He's like when you see Shea is a first team All NBA, right? We know that Shea is right there at being an MVP candidate. That boy is the one handling the rock in some of these late game, like we need a bucket, we need this. He has been, to me, the biggest surprise of the season so far to me to see his growth. Like you see little things and this and that, but you're like, who the fuck is this? Who the fuck is this guy? Right? Like, and he is out there balling. Like, I've been a big fan.
Their culture is amazing. They all can be successful. You bring in Chet is rolling and buying into his role. You bring in SGA's development done better. Jalen Williams, the other Jalen Williams, Lou Dort, like Giddy, all those dudes are eating off of one plate and being successful, and their chemistry is great. So shout out the GM for putting these guys, and even more for the system that they have that is built for them, right? So it's egoless basketball of developing these young guys. They're doing it right.
Hey, Chang, like you said, the big man is back. They are lacking a big man. Can I make one little beef?
They're trying to get PJ Washington, I heard.
Can I get one? I got one little beef.
Yeah.
When I hear stuff of like, when they're like, well, we're ahead of the timetable. They didn't think they'd be this good. It's like, you got a fucking first team All NBA on your team, right? Like, and you got a bunch of young studs and you're adding Chet. Even if you were, in my opinion, even if they were, let's say, having a good season, not a great season like they are, and let's say they were the 4th seed, that still indicates you need to go get those boys help. That means you got to find some veterans. That means you got to put that around. You got 97 picks, and you're like, well, we might just let these guys just kind of work together another year. And you're like, No, these dudes can be competing for a championship now if you put the pieces around them and you have the fucking assets. Yeah. I'm not saying tinker with it a lot. I'm not saying you could trade one of these billion picks that you have to select a 1-2 pieces that, in my opinion, could have these dudes in the conference finals, could have these dudes like a young OKC in the NBA finals. They have that talent there if you put the 1-2 pieces that need to be around them. A big, some other things that some shooting. They've got too much non-shooting. Like even for like ISO Joe is nice, but you can't have Giddey. You can't have Shea. Like there's too many guys that are like non-shooters. They need another shooter and another big.
Do you guys agree with Ant Edwards and his take on how Shea is officiated?
No.
Shea has earned that.
Do you think that the style and the way they are being officiated in the regular season will translate to the postseason?
No, it never translates. It never translates to the postseason because you're playing against better, more defense. Like if you're getting 15 free throws a night, not saying you won't have one of those in the postseason, but I'm saying it's like in the postseason, guys are more disciplined. Guys don't foul as much. Guys get back on transition D. So like some of those opportunities, so you have to be a little bit more efficient with the way you play. But I don't think that he's getting some like crazy superstar. Every player in the league feels like he's getting bullshit foul call. Luka, like think about Luka. Like every player, LeBron, all these guys feel like they're not getting enough foul calls, and every team that you play against feel like he gets every call.
Okay. Most improved player: Tyrese Maxey, Jalen Johnson, Şengün.
No, Tyrese Maxey. Not even close.
Yeah.
He didn't even start half the season last year. And now he's like, he might be the top 2 best guard in the Eastern Conference. Like,
okay. Yeah, no, I guess we can. I wouldn't say because Tyrese was an all-star last year, but he's made a big Tyrese Halliburton. I'm saying he's made a huge jump this year. I think from like being like an all-star guard to like, holy shit, this dude's an all NBA guard. I agree. Jalen Williams to me has if you're talking about out of nowhere, it's him. If you're talking about the individual that has risen to the occasion based off of expectations, is Tyrese Maxey. He's been cooking.
To go from on and off starting to now consistently averaging 25 points, the MIP is his. It's like, you lose James Harden and now you have a better record? Like, fucking stop it.
6th man of the year.
No. Norman Powell.
Norman Powell.
Cooking. They're 20-4 in their last bunch. Stop it.
Are you guys believers in the Clippers?
Yeah. If they're healthy, yeah.
Yeah, I just think they've all said, fuck it. We got to make this work. We got a new arena coming.
What do you guys think of the Clipper wall?
Well, Gil makes a great point. All the opposing team could just go to that side in the first half and just go to the other side in the second half. Like, I think it's awesome. It'll be a good experience.
Your rookie of the year.
Oh, Wemby. Not even close.
Not even close.
Oh, Chet
defensively, defensively is what people forget about. He leads the league in blocks. He's just not Chet. No, it's Wemby.
That's my pick. I'm going to stick by my pick. I think it's harder to average 17. He's a 50, 40, 90 guy. Like it's hard to average 17 on a team that every single night, every possession matters. Every single night, every possession matters for the OKC Thunder. And if he makes 3 defensive mistakes and the lead goes down 6 points, he'll be sitting on the bench. Wemby, they fucking make 28 mistakes. He's going to play his minutes. They're out there just to do it. So I look at numbers versus actual impact on the game and in the league. And I think Chet is having a bigger impact. That's me. Like Wemby might get it. He's shifted in the past probably month. It's shifted probably closer towards him, but that could still go back and forth.
There was a comment in our last podcast recording from last week where someone wanted to know, they were curious, Richard, who you thought should have won Rookie of the Year in 2003, 2004.
I've said this before, Carmelo Anthony. I think Carmelo Anthony should have. He averaged 20 points a game as a rookie, was the best player, and led his team to the playoffs. Now, he had much better players around him, but to be that dude and average 20 points a game on the playoffs.
Here comes the Richard hates LeBron.
Love it. He hates him. He told me. Richard texted me.
Like, fuck that. No, but LeBron?
No, but think about it. Think about it.
You hate LeBron?
No, I love LeBron. No, I think of this. This is where I'm always sympathetic. As a rookie, I averaged 10 points a game, and we went to the NBA Finals, right? We went to the NBA Finals. So I know how fucking hard it is when every possession and every play matters. That shit's fucking stressful when you got when you're 20 years old and you got a bunch of fucking grown men yelling at a fucking rookie because you make a fucking mistake. That you got to do that shit for 82 games. Carmelo averaged 20 points a game and led a team to the postseason. The Denver Nuggets. He led them to the postseason.
Have you told LeBron this?
I'll tell him. I'll tell that motherfucker to his face. No, look, from a basketball standpoint, I'm not saying that Carmelo was better. That was never the question who was better between the two. The question was who had a better rookie season. I thought 20 points a game and leading the team to the postseason. I think that is a fucking heavyweight.
Yeah. We were just talking about here coming the Twitter trolls that say Richard hates LeBron.
Oh,
yeah.
This guy won Richard a ring and he's just sitting over here hating on him.
That's not a hate. That's just like a basketball opinion. I feel like I've said that shit to him at dinner about rookies. Like, honestly, bro, I thought Carmelo should have won the Rookie of the Year that year. And he'd look at me and be like, fuck you, Rich. Like, and that's the end of the conversation.
I'm going to end this episode with something that I want to know. I'm curious. Have you guys seen Saltburn?
No.
What is that stupid? Is that a cooking show?
No, I think it's is about the kids that go to like that like house shit.
Yeah, it's the movie.
He's popping
Saltburn.
up. Yeah, no.
This is your homework, okay? Because I do a lot for you guys. You have 1 week. You have to do this one thing for me. You have one.
Is it a series or just it's
one movie? It's 2 hours.
Okay, I can do that.
One movie. Yes. Why? Good luck doing that on the plane.
It looks good. It looks good.
It was nominated for a Golden Globe.
Oh God.
Watch it, and then we are going to start next week's episode with our review of Saltburn.
Done. I can't believe if Allie's going to ask us for a movie review for the first time fucking ever in 9 years.
I will preface with I had to stop it at 1 hour, and I questioned a lot of things in my life, and I wondered if I was going to continue. I had to reach out to some resources to see if I should continue, to all of which they said I should, and I finished it, and I still don't know why, but I really need y'all's review.
I don't know if this is up my jam. I'm more of a Marvel.
Channing, please sit in your plane seat.
Yeah, he's more of a Pornhub movie watcher.
You'll fit right in. It'll fit right in.
Okay.
Go by the candle, lick the drains, do all the things. Okay.
Lick the drains.
Yeah. Watch the episode.
Oh God.
Don't be afraid of the Red River flowing. No. All right. That is another edition of Road Trippin'.